You know what? I guess I do finally have to talk about this. I've delayed it by a day, and it's time to go ahead and talk about it. So, ICE has been detaining children, which is kind of stupid when you think about it. Like, the entire point of ICE is to take immigrants out of the United States because they are some threat to the security of United States citizens. And I fail to see how a 5 and a 12-year-old are a threat to American citizens at all. And then, of course, we see in the chat a likely ban evader. What's going on? Oh, well, you know, neat. Dorita says, I'm so old, I've forgotten RuneScape censor evasions. I forgot RuneScape, the little tags we could do to make the text go weird and shit. I forgot how to do those years ago, even though I recently did a RuneScape run-through. Anywho, so, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. But I guess before we do that, I do need to do what I said I was going to do earlier and put some of the fan art up here that I hadn't done before. And this one actually came from Pernia, and it's a fan art for the watering hole that she did for Golden Week, featuring my avatar and Rhino, looking kind of creepy, not going to lie. I guess that explains why he got knocked off of Twitch recently. By the way, yeah, no, that's a just weird thing that happened on stream. If you're over on YouTube, this is news for you. This is news for you. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're actually talking about. Thank you very much, Brinia, for the artwork. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. And I'm not going to lie, the fact that I have fans that make art of anything on my channel, and especially when it looks this fucking good, y'all are amazing. Y'all are fantastic. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. And yeah, Axo, Vice Rhino got suspended from Twitch for 30 days. He edged it a little too close to the sun. His wax wings fell off, and we're going to have to figure out how to do the watering hole for the next month, because technically I can't stream with him when he is banned. So we're going to have to figure something out. But it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, children detained at ICE facility in South Texas is dropping. The amount is dropping, but not enough for Democrats. So this guy has been posting a bunch on, this is Joaquin Castro. I think I'm saying the name correctly. I could be incorrect. But he spoke recently on the 5th of May, talking about the 5 and 12-year-old the 5-year-old and 12-year-old who were detained by ICE, and now is going on a pretty strong campaign. Said Joaquin? Okay, Joaquin. Like Joaquin Phoenix. Who did Joker? Do I have to do the entire, meme? I don't remember the leftist YouTuber who did an entire Joaquin Phoenix video about the Joker that had a bunch of subtext in it. I can't remember what it was, but the joke of the repeated Joaquin Phoenix thing is stuck in my head. Anywho, the number of adults and children at a South Texas immigration detention facility is dropping, but U.S. Representative Joaquin Castro said he will not rest until the facility is closed for good. Right, so this is definitely a weird title, all things considered. When you go like, hey, it's dropping, but it's not dropping fast enough for Dems. I'd say that any number of children detained in a facility that is ran by ICE that is over the number 0 is too many. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to be maybe a little upset about that in general. But that's just me. Yeah, that's that one I didn't think about until you mentioned it, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I've just had this blanket thing where almost anything ICE does pisses me off because they kill American citizens. That doesn't mean that it's okay when they kill immigrants, but they've also killed American citizens with just like 12 different ways outside of their jurisdiction in general. Trace says, I appreciate you zooming in, but please consider you're covering up the content you're showing with your avatar, and it makes it hard to read along. It's like having closed captions on for your TV, but missing the first word of the line. I mean, the only way I could really fix that is by taking the TV and changing its proportions a little bit, which I can do. Give me a second. Let's do that. There we go. That should basically solve the problem now. Thank you for letting me know. When it comes to the Dilley detention facility, it is one horror after another and one abuse after another, Castro said after he and members of Congress toured the Dilley Immigration Processing Center, the only ICE detention center in the nation that currently holds kids and their parents. Castro, a San Antonio Democrat, said on Tuesday that there were just under 400 people at Dilley, and 93 of them are children. What the fuck? In January, there were over 1,100 people in the facility. Man, fuck ICE. Can we get fuck ICE in chat? I think it's the best we can do. Just like, fuck ICE, and I don't know. Don't say anything too edgy after that. I don't believe any child should be in detention, most especially those innocent kids who have done nothing wrong. Dilley has become infamous for holding, among others, 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father, Adrian Conejo Arias, who were arrested in Minnesota in January and released in February. It's also where McAllen brothers, Caleb and Joshua, man, I'm bad with not white names. I'm sorry. The Marachi musicians were held before being released last week. This week, musician Casey Musgraves has had the boys as a part of her band, doing performances at Grand Hill and New Braunfels. Said fuck ICE members with cactuses? There you go. Castro said on Tuesday that he wanted to specifically check in on 2 Alamo Heights Independent School District elementary schoolers and their stepmother who were detained last week by U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement as their classmates watched. That has to be one of the most traumatizing things on the fucking planet, right? Imagine you grow up and you're the kid who got detained by ICE. Depending on how the parents of the other kids are, you're either like social pariah after that point or hero, and I don't know if I'd want to roll those dice as a child. Like, you've at the very least caused a fuck ton of developmental problems for them psychologically just from that. Just from that. Man, it'd be funny if anybody could read what you're saying. Intellectuals, you're something. That's a big mouth word. I'm not reading that. I'm happy for you, or I'm sorry that happened. Whichever one. He said he met with them and the children. A 5th grader and a 2nd grader said they were missing their father and classmates. Sorry, I may have gotten the numbers messed up when I said 5-year-old and 12-year-old, 5th grader and 2nd grader. That doesn't make it better. Intellectuals are usual idiots. Wouldn't it be usually? Like, if you're spelling it correctly, wouldn't the word be usually? Does this person hate people who are smarter than him because they can actually get laid? I think that's what's happening. Like, I'm fairly certain that's what's going on. Probably a character limit? Yeah, their character is limited. U.S. Representative Sylvia Garcia D. Houston said the facility is nothing more than a baby jail meant to torment families and pressure them to self-deport, even when they have children born in the United States and legitimate asylum claims. Yeah, ICE taking people who have sought asylum in the United States, that one floors me to no end. Because, like, you come here to get away from oppression, you have an asylum case, and then some random fucking punk who wants a bunch of money because they saw a $50,000 signing bonus from the fucking president about, if you do this, you'll be able to get a bunch of money from us and we'll pay for your education. Join ICE! Some person who just desperately needs that and is using that as their excuse to go hunt down people, or, you know, the other way around, the money's a convenient excuse to go be an abuser. That person comes and just, like, starts oppressing you again? Like, you left an oppressive regime, sought asylum in America, and then America went, oh, we can do that too. We can do the oppressive regime as well thing. I didn't, you could read. I didn't, you could type. Hold on, I gotta read this. Oh, that's so sad. I didn't, you couldn't read. Period. Space. Was your child abuse so bad it hindered your brain's function to comprehend words? I didn't, you couldn't read. Oh my god, you are brightening up my day. Thank you so much for coming into my chat. You are a wonderful source of entertainment. Oh, and you're saying, hope my loved ones die, and then you're calling me a slur? Aw, that's so cute. That's so cute. Man, that's funny because if you're the same person earlier who tried to say that you would be livid if somebody were to hurt one of your children, but if you are saying you hope my family members die, that would invariably mean any children that I have in the future should die. That would mean that I could then attack you with carte blanche using the standards that you've set out. But that's okay. I didn't think you were going to think about that at all. Not even a little bit. I never pegged you for a thinker. I never pegged you at all, actually. I don't think you're worth it, to be honest. Oh, man, look at all the edge. All the edge. Hold on. You need attention. I get it. You need all the attention. Come here. Come here, bud. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let's give you that attention you deserve. Let's see here. Where is it? That's it. Hope your loved ones die. Hanging from a rope, bleeding from slit throats. Man. God, it's so weird. Not only is this hobbyless behavior, but, like, this is the behavior of somebody who's never gonna get laid. This is the behavior of somebody who's gonna unironically call themselves an incel and say that they're not able to get laid by women for whatever fucking reason, and then they don't think about the words they say. God, it's so funny. God, it's so funny. Look at you. Look at you. Man. But here you go. Here you go. Here's the attention you wanted. I know your parents didn't give it to you, so I'll do it for you. I'll be your daddy. Man. Every single one of these guys are fucking pizza cutters. All edge, no point. Bro, 5 ban evasions, get a job. Get a job, brother. Brother, get a job. Anyway, back to ICE. You know, people who can actually threaten other Americans. You've tried so hard. You've tried so hard. Let's see here. She said none of those people she met with on Tuesday had criminal records, which she said proves ICE isn't targeting criminals like President Donald Trump said they would. Yeah, we knew that. We've known that for the entire time. Like, Trump lies. Water's also wet. News at 11. What I saw today was horrific. United States Representative Christian Menifee, who's a Democrat from Houston, said after touring the facility with Castro. He said ICE officials assured him that detainees are getting health care and nutrition. But when he talked to families, he said it's clear that's not actually true. Wow. ICE lies? You don't say. They also lied about Renee Good. That's so weird. Man, these guys are so trustworthy. It is such a 10 out of 10 trustworthy scenario and administration and group. All of it. Hey, just a real quick thing. I think it would be really funny, given the serial harasser who's in the chat right now, who's trying very, very hard to get banned. Again, for the 3rd time. 5th time? 3rd time. 3rd time. It'd be really funny if the if people just started randomly throwing in donos, trying to show this person love, you know, because they've certainly lost a lot of that in their life. Said between 2 platforms, do you think they're the same person? I don't think they're Thrag. I don't think that the other person was Thrag, the guy who said, I don't want your gay ass to censor me. They don't have the same typing scheme as Thrag did. You're saying people on the internet would just eat hot chip and lie? I know, right? People on the internet are like women. They eat hot chip and lie. But yeah, no, if any of you are doing any donos or anything like Twitch subs or anything like that, then please offer condolences or love or something for Thrag, because again, I feel like they desperately need it. I feel like if they don't receive that, they're gonna explode. Said ICE officials assured him that they were getting care and nutrition. ICE lied. Nobody was confused by that. He said families are getting sick from the food and children are losing weight the longer they are held. He said several mothers in the facility said that they can't get basic health care or items. Ah, I see. We finally found a way to solve the obesity epidemic in the United States. Unfortunately, it involves torture, so maybe we shouldn't fucking do that. Said I saw a ton of dishonesty, Menifee said. Yeah, of course they're going to be dishonest. They're starving children. They're starving kids. Of course they're going to be dishonest, because if any one of them had to report back to their mothers they were doing that, then, I don't know how that would go. Fork found in kitchen type moment right there. Yeah, ICE people torturing children? Weird. Weird. Man, that's so strange. I had no idea that was going to happen. No one could have ever saw this coming. Castro, who has made 5 trips to Dili, says he thinks the public attention to the individual children being held behind bars is partly responsible for the decline in detentions. He said that he will keep bringing attention to the stories of the children whom he said should not be locked up in detention facilities when they should be with their families and in school. Yeah, when it's a combination of the families didn't do anything wrong, and also the kids should not be held in a fucking ICE facility, you have other options. You have other options. Set up like a fucking daycare system for them away from the fucking ICE facility and let them continue to do their daily things at school, and so they can have some sense of normalcy. Do you know how fucked these kids are gonna be later in life? They're gonna be about as fucked as all the Japanese kids were. You know, the ones that we detained during the war. We did that. We keep doing this. We keep fucking doing this. We get mad at Germany when they do concentration camps, and we keep on finding new ways to reinvent that wheel. Jesus Christ. Are there comments or anything on here? No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Man. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be torturing kids. Maybe that's a bad thing. Because, like, I mentioned this when we destabilized a ton of regimes out in the Middle East, but, like, can you imagine growing up both within and without the United States, having only one view of the country, and that view is that this place is oppressing you and your family? Like, do you know how quickly you create enemies of the United States when you do that? You know how easy it is to get a ton of people to grow up generationally against us, just in concept? By torturing them and ruining their lives and bombing their families like we've done in the Middle East, and the freaking incarceration of children like we're doing here. It seems so obvious that this is how you create terrorists. And yeah, we keep doing them despite the fact that we ostensibly had a war on it in the fucking early aughts. Paige says, I feel we're treating detainees now worse than we did then. And then the casual accounts corroborate this. I don't know if I would say that, but I also don't know if I'd argue against it. It's one of those things where I don't know enough about every condition for all of the ICE facilities and every condition for the facilities we used for the Japanese back then. I just know the stories of the people who were held in there, like George Takei's story. About that, and I know that the stories that I hear for that are horrific, and then I see shit like this for ICE, and that's also horrific. So as far as I'm concerned, whether one is worse than the other, I don't know, but whether they're both terrible, yes. Steigander says, I mean, Alligator Auschwitz is missing 1,200 people? Hold on. How many are they missing? Wait. No, you're right. You're right. How did I forget this? Jesus Christ, no, you're actually correct. Of the 1,800 individuals that are held there, around 800 no longer appear in their database, and another 450 detainees were listed as call ICE for details. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. That is crazy for me. Also, yes, I was talking about George Takei. He spent his childhood imprisoned in the United States concentration camps during World War II. He said it was an experience that shaped his life. So, yeah, that happened when he was 5. That's like, there are people alive right now that we kept in camps when we were attacking another country for putting people in camps. Said, we forget because of the flood the zone strategy. Yeah, that's entirely true. Sarah said, Kate. Did I say Katie? I must have misspoke then. No, George Takei. Sorry. Takei? Yeah, I meant to say Takei. Sorry. Sorry. Oops. So yeah, there's going to have to be a search of the Everglades for bodies at some point. Absolutely. Man, maybe you're right. Maybe the words you're saying are actually true, because that's 1,250 people that are just completely unaccounted for out of 1,800 people? How do you lose 2/3 of your people, if not by disappearing them? Yay, I'm so happy that the United States is now disappearing people. That's great. You know, it's not like we haven't done that before. This timeline depresses me. However, it's not that we're without options here. It's not that we don't have anything we can do. So we have politicians that are obviously trying to fight against this, right? That's kind of just the baseline thing to be happy about, is that there actually are people who are willing to fight against this in some form or fashion. The flip side of that, though, is that politicians that are fighting against this cannot continue to do so if they then, lose their seats. So, here's my project I have for all of you. When you see politicians like the one we covered today who are actually speaking out about this and are trying to do something to change the horrific things the United States is doing, remember who they are, and if they are the people who happen to be your representative or your state senator, make sure to do what you can to help them seek re-election when the time comes. Prevent the Democratic Party from primarying them away. Unless they do some stupid shit. Taking APAC money is... I don't know if that's the thing that's going to be happening with a lot of these people. I hope not, but definitely keep an eye on them. Make sure that we can keep them in office as long as we possibly can so that we do not end up with, more bodies. The DSA is a good resource for that. Your local Democratic group, which you can find on Facebook or Mobilize, they are going to be a good resource for that. It doesn't begin and end with voting. It begins with you getting upset enough at the world around you that you want it to change. And once you've decided that it should change, go out and change it. If you don't have a politician in your area that is doing right by us and the immigrants who are seeking asylum here, then primary the ones who aren't. Get in those positions yourself. Run for something. Run for something's a resource that can do that. And then, if you're not willing to be the person in the chair, be willing to support the person who wants to take the chair. Be willing to canvass for them. Be willing to phone bank for them. Be willing to fundraise for them. That doesn't mean you need to donate your dollars if you don't have a lot of dollars. Most people in my audience don't. This is why you can be part of a fundraising campaign for them, in order to help them generate the dollars. Dorita says the only thing that runs in my family is diarrhea. Jesus Christ. But yeah, there's that. And I don't think there's anything else I want to say about this one other than maybe we shouldn't be hurting children. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitt, I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.